Hello, everybody. It's the Historical Gamer once again, and today we are returning to Ultimate General American Revolution. We are streaming this live on Independence Day, at least where I'm at, for another 30 minutes, and for Independence Day for America, that is. We're returning to our series, which is quite a ways in. We are in September of 1776. The British have recently landed in New York. They did take New York from us. We counterattacked. We fought a really bloody battle. We won that battle. We retook New York. But then we set our attention elsewhere, and a second British army came in and retook New York from us, killed Horatio Gates, I think, or at least he's gone, so I assume he's dead. Maybe he's a POW. So that's where we find ourselves right now. We have stabilized the situation for the moment. The British have taken Fort Clinton back from us, New York back from us. But we've got 4,200 troops under Benedict Arnold in New Haven, 2,200 troops under yours truly in Fort Montgomery. And the British largest force is at Hempstead with about 6,300. I think they've got about 12,000 men all around Fort Clinton, New York, Fort Penn, and Hempstead. I hope we can divide and conquer them and keep them bottled up and sort of shrink their front and grow our strength. The first task to that is going to be retaking Fort Clinton, where they're pretty beat up and only have a few hundred troops, although the troops in New York may be able to support from there. So I think to that effect, what we are going to do is we're going to send a brigade of troops, probably the Starks Brigade over here, which is about 1,300 men. They will join up with probably about 1,000 men from Fort Montgomery, leaving about 1,000 behind to garrison it to make sure the British don't sweep in on our flank again, which they've been doing a lot lately. So probably leave about, 800 militia behind, bring 1,500 troops with us, or maybe 1,200 troops, plus the 1,300 over here. So we should outnumber Fort Clinton by a healthy margin, depending on what the British have back here in New York. We also have a new field commander as a result of the death or disappearing of Horatio Gates. We've got Henry Knox, who has taken the field, the artillery chief, historically anyway, for General Washington. And he has formed up here at Fort St. John, which if we ever get the recruits to replace the losses of these regiments here, he may launch another assault on Fort Levy, which Horatio Gates also failed in. So yeah, maybe the death or disappearing of Horatio Gates has helped the revolution, perhaps. The hero of Saratoga, maybe coasting on Benedict Arnold's laurels a little bit too much. That's where we find ourselves in. Now, we did take New York, so we got a big bonus. We got $40,000, so now we actually have $52,000 in the bank. We should probably spend that to strengthen the overall economy. I'm thinking we'll look to build some fur trader posts where we can. Although actually I don't have the ability to do that right now because I need specialists to build things for the most part, and I do not have specialists right now because they're too busy being eaten up by my army reinforcing things. So that's a little bit of a challenge. If we go to the infrastructure screen here, if we go to not production management, if we go to colony management, actually, no, sorry, that's convenient economic. So we could increase taxes, but I don't need the money right now, so maybe we don't do that. Construction management. What are we building right now? We're building one logistic chunk here in New Hampshire. We are building some wheat farms in northern Massachusetts. We are also building some in New Hampshire, and then I guess northern New York-ish area. I don't know that we're building... Are we building any mines anywhere? Resources are always good, right? Connecticut has a lot of... We've already got level 2 mines here. Can the children go to the mines? Saltpeter probably would help with ammo production, although that has not been a bottleneck. It's been more of industrial capacity. Our hold is too tenuous on these southern provinces. I don't want to invest there. I suppose central New York, it's already got a level 2 mine, but it has both iron, wood, and copper. So that feels like a good place to invest in, although we may need to double check the construction points there if that's viable or not. And then coal and saltpeter up here. Copper here. Copper is important if we're going to start making our own cannons. It's so weird. We have no resources in the Boston area, just agriculture, which we are low on provisions, so we probably should invest a little bit in provisions here. Maybe also military facilities. It increases the number of units, but if that's all it does, I don't know that I need that. And I'm not building ships, so I don't know increasing shipyards helps all that much. I suppose theoretically, if we're going to try and build a bunch more of our own ammo, we should do a saltpeter. We should do a mine somewhere. We've got plenty of wood. Where is there saltpeter that there's something else I would benefit from? I guess here. But again, New York's construction situation is real rough. And then logistics, I don't know that we need to build logistics up anywhere right now. Maybe here if we build another facility here. Production facilities are, I guess, are good. For areas that don't have enough manpower or production capacity. Okay. All right, that's it for now on that. I hate how it always unpauses you when you do that. Meanwhile, we also do need to work on... So we don't have the specialists to build any buildings right now, really, but... Or really replace our losses either. That's the other problem. But I think there's something we can do here to boost our production capacity here. Is it here? So if we look for places that are trying to build things that do not have enough production capacity, let's see here, cast iron. That's construction materials. Where is there an icon that shows you construction? Is it production if we do this? Well, let's do this. I'm trying to build a bunch of stuff. I don't have the construction points to do it. So like Albany, Saratoga, all this stuff here in this New York area needs a boost, which I believe my understanding is I can get a boost if we go to Albany here. We can actually assign an officer down here to do construction, which will boost the construction in the region. I don't know if it's just for that one, I guess this province, which has multiple, it has Fort Saratoga and Albany in it. So we can assign an officer to do that. It's 500 per week, but again, we've got the cash, and it gives 2 construction points. I don't know if the traits of the general matter. I have plenty of officers, though, that aren't doing anything. So I think we will assign someone to do that. We'll just need to remember to pull them out when we're not using them. And I guess I'll go for the guy with the lowest traits, because I don't know that it matters. Like, it seems like the traits don't influence this. So maybe Joseph Vickner. So we can assign him to do that. It's weird that they don't put his portrait there. You'd never know he's still there. And then let's do not Boston, not Burlington. Let's look for, oh shoot. I wish I could click on the region without it automatically spending the money. Fort St. John, what's this? Why is there an exclamation there? Their loyalty's low. Thank you for the follow, no yes maker. Like, what's the actual? God damn it! Stop. So Fort St. John's. Is that this region? No. Kingston, Albany. Ticonderoga. Fort St. John's up here. I don't think we're building anything up there. The loyalty's low, but what I'd like... Maybe some of these interior provinces, like Hatfield. It's got some production capacity. Fort Rice, maybe. But there's like so limited manpower there that I don't know that there'd be anything to really build with anyway. Maybe like in the... We already have a lot of production points here. That's... Actually, we should do a specialist in one of these regions. So let's go back to construction management. Let's do... well, let's just look for where there's long... Kingston has a long delay, so there's 100 days just working on this mine. So 100 days, I think, is good enough to say we should assign someone to construction. Did we already do that, actually? Brandon Neufeld is already working on that? Okay. Where are there other long delays? Lyman up here? Or Lehman? I don't want to spend too much money on assigning officers to doing this kind of stuff. Oh, so maybe the traits do matter, actually. They do influence construction points. Whatever. Norwalk, Massachusetts. So you're not learned enough, I guess. Alright, I don't want to bankrupt myself doing this in too many places. Hey, Jazz. Hope all is well in Michigan tonight. Alright, let's see if we get any specialists tomorrow. Because I'd like to do some infrastructure spending, too. But the lack of specialists is hurting us. The British keep going in and out of alliance with the Cherokee. I don't know what to make of that. Seems to be kind of silly that the game keeps doing that. What's actually our ammunition stockpile look like right now? It was at 0 before. Still at 0. We should probably have some. Oh, I need to buy it, not sell it. 15,000? Well, I need the ammo, so we'll do that. Provisions have a nice rebound, so that's good. Sell those textiles, sell that rum, sell that fur. Help offset the spending on the ammo. And then resources, because we're not building anything right now, we'll sell 140 of that. So 79 of the wood, which again, we're building way more of it than we need. Frankly, we're building way more of most things than we need, even the coal. So we've already made all the money back that we sold. I don't want to sell saltpeter just because if ammo production ever kicks up, we'll need that. We have 128 horse in stockpile. We could raise another regiment of dragoons and have them all slaughtered. We're real good at that. Okay. But I don't have any specialists to raise any units right now. Alright, 27th of September. Still can't get specialists. We're making 8 ammo per day. Okay. All right, meanwhile, we should also upgrade some of these troops because some of these units are using civilian muskets here. So let's go ahead and get everybody who can, anyway, some better weapons. For the militia, we'll give them the Virginia muskets, and for the regulars, we'll give them the Brown Besses. The Brown Besses are slightly better than the Virginia muskets. But I don't have enough Brown Besses to give to every unit that has Virginias or civilians. These guys already have Brown Besses. I don't know why each one of these is like one unit with... Virginia. It's like I built every one of these with one unit with a Virginia. This regiment is at partial strength, which I would resolve if I had specialists to resolve it. Alas, I do not. Okay. Those guys already have it. Just trying to make sure we don't... Right, those guys already have Brown Besses. I'm just trying to make sure we don't forget anybody and end up sending anybody into battle with trash. Although the United States musket's decent enough probably for militia in most cases. Okay. These regulars... These guys all have Charlevilles, which... I'm not sure why. We don't have enough of them for them all to upgrade to them. The other guys already have Brown Besses. And then since they're with a field army... that's fine. You can keep your U.S. muskets. Same for you guys. I don't have enough Virginias at the moment to re-equip all of those guys. With these militia out here in Burlington, we're going to swap these out for... Well, it's going to be a downgrade, but it'll free the Charlevilles up for that regular unit. And we'll give them Brown Besses. So it'll free up those Charlevilles for that regular regiment at St. John's to draw from them. Main problem with the Besses is I'll have to go back in and change all this when we start replacing our losses. All right, so that does that. I want to move on Clinton while it's weak and looks like it's still damaged. So to that end, we're going to pull Stark's brigade out. It seems like it's going to be a while before I have enough specialists to do anything with. So we will get to work. We're going to pull Stark out here. 30 ammo for 3,000 gold. Yeah. That's the one time where the covert transaction seems like a good deal for me. All right, we'll send you to Montgomery. You'll link up with Butcher, and then Butcher will swing in on Cleveland. Meanwhile, Arnold keeping a strong enough garrison of 2,700, hopefully, to prevent any sort of British attack out of New York toward New Haven. What can I spend reputation on? Nothing that I want enough to spend the reputation on. If I thought there was a chance I could sneak these 3 ships down to New Haven to guard the supply ships that are moving in and around there, I would do it. But alas, I don't think I have enough men to do that. The British are sending 600 men out of Hempstead somewhere. Maybe to New York? Looks like Huguet is moving. New intel has him near New York. They are replacing some of their losses in these beat-up regiments at Clinton. Meeting House in Castine and Falmouth are complete. Or barracks in Falmouth. Right, across the river at Montgomery. Get into the fort, rest there for a day, and then we'll begin our march on Clinton. I also can't leave Montgomery too weak because of the 1,300 men at Fort Penn on our flank. So just as a reminder, the strategic situation here, most of the map is American right now, but the British do hold a pretty strong line between Hempstead, New York, Clinton, and then Fort Penn. Penn draws its supply from up in Canada, but nonetheless, 1,300 at Penn, 600 at Clinton, 2,000 to 3,000, maybe a little more at New York, and then 6,000 at Hempstead. So this is sort of their defensive line. It breaks up between Morristown and the capital of New Jersey in the south, and our forces in the north. And it also keeps Wyoming and Reading both here isolated in the south, although we don't really have many troops down there. If we could take Clinton, it will... I mean, I guess technically there are already cut off east to west from a supply line point of view, but it will isolate New York and Hempstead much more effectively, and hopefully allow us to reduce it down there. They may have moved the troops because they saw our 1,300 troops moving. That is very much a possibility. All right. So the boys in Montgomery are... what do we want to do here? They want 158 civilian muskets, and it'll improve our relations with the Miamis by 3? Sure. Our relations with them aren't very good. All right, so... I think we're just going to take Starks and Skipwith's brigades. Starks needs to get his boys' conditioning back up to full, and then we'll go. We do have 18 specialists now, so we can draw some reinforcements. But instead of that, let's do some building here, shall we? Where can we build fur houses? Because as I understand it, fur houses are the most effective building from a production to income point of view. Of course, the problem in a lot of these places, I don't have the production points to build anything in any kind of timely manner. We can upgrade the fur house here at level. That'll take 64 days. That's reasonable-ish. Lyman has a lot of production points or construction points. Do they have a fur trader house? Weaver. Oh, they do. We'll do that. Okay. I assume some of these northeastern cities do. Yeah, these guys are going to build it in like 10 days. Their production points in some of these towns are pretty darn good. Some of them less so. Saratoga is a nice production value there right now. We're gonna get a lot of fur. They're also not very expensive to build. Okay, let's leave the rest of those points for some reinforcements, perhaps. We're overstacked at Montgomery. Like some of these guys, rough shape. Like 36 out of 120. I almost wonder if I'd be better off scrapping one of these regiments and just taking the reinforcements to apply to other brigades. All these guys are at max. New Haven has plenty of recruits. They seem to be... You know what we could do is we could send... We just pulled Starks out of there, but we could send understrength. It's like this guy's definitely understrength. And so is this guy. So these two units could form a regiment to go to New Haven to draw reinforcements. Because New York doesn't want to send a lot of recruits, I guess. And then in exchange, we could bring one fresh regiment, full-size regiment, out of New Haven and move them to Montgomery to take part in the assault. Changing places. Hopefully they don't pounce on these troops moving through the open as some sort of vulnerable... Oh, they might try to do that. Alright, well, if you're going to do that, perhaps we will send Benedict Arnold out. And maybe we'll fight a little mini battle with 1,000 against 700. Okay, well, the odds aren't quite that good. So maybe not. Pull another 600 out. This is how battles start. This is like a, you know, little meeting engagement, perhaps. Oh, come on. Now I just sent them all to Clinton? No, go back to New York, you jerks. Go attack him. They're in the open now. You can get them. Oh, this is not what I want actually to happen. Oh, God. Everybody pull back to New Haven. Oh, God. I didn't want this to happen. Go to New Haven. Oh, no. Hey, look, the Cherokee and the British are no longer allies.
Stand firm.
Okay, get the other 1,300 troops in there, and that should change the odds a little, maybe. 3,100 versus 2,700, plus they've got 680 reinforcements coming. It does say that the enemy's much weaker than me and they might retreat. I don't know why, but we're going to fight this battle, I guess. A chance to defeat a segment of the British Army on roughly equal terms. It's July 4th for a few more minutes here, so let's do it. Let's whip them redcoats. I didn't... This was like a baiting with... accidentally baited myself? Whoa. What kind of tactical makeup is this to start this fight? They're on my flank here. I'm on their flank here. I don't know that I'd say this is a happy accident. We'll see. I don't usually like fighting on even terms. I'd rather fight with an advantage. Especially against the redcoats. But we'll see. Heavily wooded terrain also always makes me nervous. Alright, so they're up here. On this hill. Meanwhile, they're on my flank over here. A lot of nice right angles in this battlefield. Alright, so... Ideally, we get our troops linked up. Like these guys over here in this wood line, I'm okay with that. That's not a terrible position to be in. The guys on this flank, less so. We could turn our flank. Why are they black flags? Are these Germans? Hessians! I know, maybe defending in that wood line would be smart. Maybe. I don't know. The enemy wants to come off this hill at me. We'll advance right into their flank. We'll have this battery of artillery hit these guys as they come out of that wood line. I don't know exactly what I am doing, other than keep the ammo wagons on top of the artillery. Keep the artillery as best we can in cover. Pull these troops back here. Fuse that line. Reserve behind the guns. So they're going to move off to the left. Alright, so this is going to be a weird fight. Don't want to come at me over through the open. I guess that's okay. Let our artillery hit them as they come up, come out of this woods. Out of these woods. This woods. Try and catch these guys in the open. Kind of, these guns are sort of firing over our heads. I think these troops are safe for the moment from friendly fire. Alright, I think we're pushing back that light infantry. They may go around my flank here, we'll see. Let's try and get these guys up over onto the right of the guns. I like a clear path for my guns to canister the enemy infantry to death. And with four batteries, we should be able to shred them before they can shred my artillery. But it's ideal to have infantry on either flank so that you can fire into them before they can, you know, while basically distract them with infantry fire, that they usually respond to the infantry fire. Right here's a bit of a problem. They could certainly overwhelm me on this little bit of a flank. We've got some guns anchoring in that gap. Shift over to the left a bit and try and engage these 96 men in the wood line. Move these guys over as a bit of a reserve. Are you guys firing canister? Like, are you in range for that? It doesn't look like it, actually. It looks like you're still using solid shot. There's still a big morale advantage to hitting the enemy with artillery, but I think they're just out of canister range. Oh, these guys are routing. Good thing I brought these, just like I planned. These 240 men who I was going to extend my right flank with will now just plug the gap. So those retreating troops opened up. Alright, that infantry's routing from the map. I haven't seen a lot of friendly fire markers yet, so I think our artillery is mostly doing a good job of shooting over our heads rather than through our lines. They are coming up over my left flank pretty heavily, so we'll move these 230 men over here to extend the line. This woods are always tricky. It's hard to see through trees. Captain Obvious strikes again. Right, those guys are rallying. They already fought a little bit. We'll give them a little bit of time. I think that additional regiment of the British may have shown up because it looks like the strength bar is still pretty heavily favoring them. We do have it seems like we've got a pretty decisive artillery advantage. Either because their guns haven't been able to come up quickly enough, or just because we do. Hey guys, don't chase them. How about you engage the other troops in your range? Alright, you rallied enough. Go back up there and get back in the fight. Push forward on these skirmishers. Alright, they're breaking on the right. My left flank is in a bit of trouble, I think. This regiment or division here has been taking some pretty heavy losses. I don't like pushing the enemy into the woods because it then gives them cover. Melee them, boys. Overwhelm them, 3-to-1 odds. Wreck them. Oh, they're routing. Never mind. And they're shattered. They're destroyed. Good. Hey, there's one of their batteries now. These 200 men are... See, this is what happened. These 200 men pushed the enemy into the wood line, and now they're getting driven back because the enemy has the benefit of cover. Thankfully, the enemy came out of cover to push me back. Guys, fall back. I don't want you chasing. You're chasing off an individual company and getting yourself torn up. More fresh troops coming. Take this wooded section here and use it as cover. You outnumber them better than 2-to-1. Just hold and fire. That was a very ineffective volley. Alright, we're breaking on the left. Strong enemy line coming out of this wood. Exactly what I was afeared of. We should fall back from this left. At least we caught some of these initial companies that were pushing us back in the open. Gave their advance pause. This is gonna be a bloody one for us. You fire into their flank? Like, why do you not get a flank bonus right here? You were clearly firing into their flank. You just routed them off the map at least. Forget those gunners. Although you're going to get grape-shotted from them, so maybe you shouldn't forget them, but try and help this company over here. They're using solid shot here, not grape shot, thank God. Okay. We're slowing them on the left. I don't know that we're holding. It does look like the strength bar is slowly bending in our favor. Artillery is key so far in our survival to this point. Alright, they pushed us out of that wood. Right flank, we drove those guys back. You're exposing your flank to that battery of artillery, which is not ideal. Why don't you fall back a little bit and get closer to the guns? Advancing on these two batteries. Our supply companies are taking casualties. Alright, I think it doesn't feel like it on our left flank, but it does look like up here the battle is turning in our favor. If the fallback worked, those guys are still alive. Fire a volley and then charge into them. You outnumber them 3-1. Another enemy company shattered. Alright, I think their morale is starting to come apart. They seem to be... Victory, they're retreating. There we go. This is where having some cavalry would be nice. Enemy army flees from the battlefield! That was closer than I think it looked. It felt closer than I think I think the results are not going to be as close as I feel like the battle was, but I don't think I've got the conditioning to pursue anybody. So we'll go back to the strategic map. We lost 1,000 men, so we lost more than a third of our force. They did lose 2/3 of their force, so they lost worse, but that was still a very bloody fight for us. A good victory in the New York campaign, though, to pin those British back on New York and wither away their strength. You didn't hear no bell? Well, I heard a victory bell. A liberty bell, shall we say. I'm curious if we'll see more British come out to try and take New Haven now that it's nominally unoccupied. We got troops between them and us, but... Alright, I tried to pursue, but that didn't seem to happen. Are they really going to move on us now, or are they going to move into New York? I hope these troops are just moving into New York. Negotiations in the shadows. Charleville 77, which I can't buy. So, like, while it would be nice to have these guns, I don't... If they were the 66, I'd probably buy them, because I could use those. If it was even a good deal. I don't know if it was. Alright, provisions captured, rifles captured. You can always count on getting more ammo from the British, I guess, when you need it. You know, you're running, you don't have enough brown besses, just fight a battle with them. They'll drop a bunch. All our specialists are gone again. We have to see what we can move out of Montgomery toward Clinton. They added 1,000 more troops to Clinton. Also looks like they pushed another 600 to Penn on the flank there. So they are spreading their forces out a little bit more, which in one way makes them more vulnerable, but also since Hempstead was previously unassailable, that now makes other positions more difficult to assail. Another victory for Benedict Arnold, though. Dude is... My character is no longer the hero of the revolution. My character is yesterday's news. Benedict Arnold is the hero of the revolution.
Push through.
Alright, so we only have 1,900 troops still here at New Haven after losing those 1,000 men. We also did send some troops to Montgomery. We sent about, 1,300. Alright, so I need more specialists again. I like that I coast on Arnold's reputation, though. Alright, put these specialists here, spend the 12. Get them right away. Merchant shop completed. Meeting house, recruitment house. Printing press in Fort Saratoga is complete. Where did the specialists all went away already? That was fast. Would Benedict Arnold better not betray us? He's got to be the hero. Like, he's the adored hero, right? At this point, you would think. How is, Here, the British have an equal army. So, wow! Before they had a huge army. Now it says they have a huge army. They do have a huge navy, obviously. We've killed way more than this, but our victory points for killed soldiers, 587 versus their 296. We've destroyed 105 units. They've only destroyed 27. Both sides have lost one actual military ship, and then we've captured 43 localities. So I think the campaign is progressing in America's favor, to say the least. They don't have 11K in New York anymore. No, it was like... What was it? It was way less than that just a second ago when we saw it. That's just bad intel.
Keep moving.
So they got about 2,000 at Penn, 1,600 at Clinton, 3,700 at New York, and 800 at Hempstead. I can't really attack 3,700 men right now. I don't have enough men to do it, but... I want to go for Fort Clinton. I want to, like, split Penn and Clinton. They've got a garrison of Hessians down at Easton also. I'd be tempted to pull the troops in Morristown out. What weapons do they have? Are they still rocking the civilians? Let's give them something better. Because there's a likelihood, I feel like, of them assaulting down there, we'll give them the best. We'll give them the Brown Besses. Okay. How are things up in St. John? These guys are still considerably under strength. As far as we know, Benny's not scripted to betray us. As far as we know. That's a big caveat. We don't know. You know? Alright. Building all those... I need more frickin' specialists. I can't even upgrade the schoolhouse to get more specialists. Or build more schoolhouses to get more specialists. Oh, I can. Okay, that is something I don't need specialists to build. Alright, Newport, build a schoolhouse. Let's build a few more schoolhouses where we can. We need more officers. Do. They're cheap, too. How do we not have a schoolhouse in Boston yet? Sea invasion, oh no. So the British are about to land another large army somewhere. We don't know where. And we don't have a force to resist them with. So they're probably going to drop 3,000 to 5,000 troops somewhere. Anywhere along our coast. Which has been stripped of pretty much all of its resources to defend against New York. So... fuck. Alright, we will form a new force to deal with this. So we're going to pull this brigade. We'll pull Fox out. We will pull one of Stark's regiments out. These guys will join up. That's not enough men. 1,600 men is not enough. But I can't leave Montgomery too open. So Stark will be the field force, I suppose. I'd be fine if they just want to reinforce down near New York, at least in one place. The issue is not the manpower is not helpful, but the primary issue is the... All right, 20 more specialists. I'll spend that reputation again. The primary issue at this point is more the location. Like the ability to respond at a location. I'd be tempted to just go for Fort Clinton right now to eliminate 2,000 Brits, but if I know they're going to bring in more troops, these troops are more valuable to me as a standing force. Are they really going to go for me again? They're going to do it. They're going to fucking do it. The assholes. Do they ever learn? We're really going to do this again, guys? We're going to fight the battle for New York right now? Not what I wanted to do, but... okay, diplomacy with the Creeks. Where are they all going anyway? Alright, so we can destroy 1,700 of them probably, although they may all run away before we actually get a chance to do it. To that end, let's see what happens on this. Strategic map. Alright, one of our regiments got routed. But these enemy numbers are plummeting. Alright, pull back. I don't quite want to fight that battle yet. Fuck. Alright. 2,900 versus 3,100. The battle for New York. I don't really want to fight this thing, but I guess we are. With that being said, we've been going for almost an hour now, guys. So we're going to go ahead and wrap this episode up here. We will fight the Hessians and the battle for New York. What is this? The third battle for New York in our next video. Until our next video, though, yeah, we're going to wrap it up here. So hope you guys enjoyed. I'll catch you guys next time. Bye-bye.